think definitely may mga aspeto ng education system natin na talagang kailangan na, kumbaga nasa ER na talaga, kailangan i-rescue natin, emergency na.
This is truth on the line. Common description sa state ng education natin nasa crisis. Parang lahat ng aspeto merong serious problem. Umpisahan muna natin doon sa pinaka-immediate, which is in the news. Parang lumalala yung violence sa schools, and it's not ordinary violence, saksakan, it's deadly violence. Ano po yung nakikita nyo, mga pwedeng gawin? Kasi nag-aalala, teachers, students, parents.
Tama po kayo, ma'am. I think definitely may mga aspeto ng education system natin na talagang kailangan na, kumbaga nasa ER na talaga, kailangan i-rescue natin, emergency na. Kaya prioritize po ito ng Marcos administration. And definitely we had our first shooting sa Tacloban a few weeks ago. And ito medyo game changer ito, ma'am, kasi first time nangyari ito sa Pilipinas, and now we're conducting yung mga active shooter drills. Pero palagay ko, reactive lang yun . Dapat hindi tayo reactive. We must also be preventive in our scope. Anong ibig sabihin yan? We address natin yung mga deeper, yung mga more complex problems. Dahil usually may issues yan sa pamilya, may issues sa social media, may issues sa pag-handle ng school community. Minsan may bullying, minsan may family problems. So all of these things, it's a very complex phenomenon, school violence. Pero I think ang gusto ng ating mahal na Pangulo, ang gusto ng ating mga magulang is a safer environment. And i-prevent natin. Ayaw nila na nangyayari ito. So dapat may red flags or may risk factors tayo. Kaya kung nakikita natin, nag-iiba na yung behavior ng isang bata, hindi na siya nag-engage, or madalas ang absences, or madalas yung getting into arguments with classmates, siguro may ganong aspeto na yun na our teachers must be, our educators, our non-teaching staff must be better at spotting some of these warning signs so that it doesn't escalate to a point where it will become violence, di ba? Kasi normal naman yung, because adolescence is a very turbulent period for many individuals. Yung sabi nga nila, hindi pa fully developed yung ating rational adult decision making and executive functions, and yet on full drive yung part of the brain natin that deals with emotion. So highly emotional, highly stressed, and yet children now are exposed to so many stimuli, di ba? O there's online, there's bullying. So kailangan medyo sensitive na ang ating school communities to all of this. And we say that of course we include the parents, but yung trato talaga ng ating mga principals and teachers is parang bahay talaga yon, and they should treat them not just as students but also as members of a larger family or community, and have a more caring attitude. I think that should be part of it, while at the same time nagsistricto din tayo sa mga security aspects dealing with security, like having better security protocols, having CCTVs, having yung metal detectors, yung pag-aayos ng bakod, siguradong walang makakatalon doon or makakalipat, and then also coordinating with the other government agencies. So pagdating sa peace and order, of course, you're talking about the Philippine National Police, you're talking about DILG and the local barangay officials. So importante yung coordination. But at the same time, dapat bantayan din natin ito yung bago, Ma'am Ami, na hindi natin na-encounter nung panahon natin. Yung social media. Dahil merong mga yung they call them NDE groups, nihilistic, violent, extremist groups, which are on the lookout for disillusioned, depressed, angry youth. And the aim is to recruit them and to do violent acts. So, yan, bantayan po talaga natin. At pinaliwanag ng mga PNP experts yan, pinaliwanag din ng DICT at saka ng DOJ yan, na talagang these are networks which have worked for many years, dealing with things like sexual harassment, with trafficking, etc. So now these networks are expanding and targeting the youth for violence, for terrorism, things like that. So Yun nakita natin sa Tacloban ho yun, Ma'am Ami. They were also highly exposed to these types of groups.
Along that line, merong proposal to restrict access of the teens. Siguro, ang common age na binabanggit is 16 to restrict access to social media. Payag ka ba dyan? And you think it's not viable? Kaya ba nating i-implement? Kung sakasakali lang na matuloy.
Well, sa schools, ini-implement na ho namin yan sa totoo lang, Ma'am Ami, kasi bawal gamitin yung cellphone sa loob ng classroom. So if ever, ginagamit lang sa recess, sa dismissal, sa pasukan. Pero as long as they're on school time or class time, hindi pwedeng gamitin ang mga cellphone. So the question is, kaya bang i-regulate on other platforms? I think even the more advanced jurisdictions or developed countries admit na mahirap talaga i-implement. And we need the full cooperation of the telcos here because the usual regulation is a self-regulation. Are you 18 and above? Siyempre, sasabihin ng bata, I am 18 and above, pero sa totoo lang, 13 lang yung bata, di ba? So, we need to bone up and study the best practices dito. Pero ako, definitely, at a certain age, dapat i-limit yung exposure to harmful websites.
Kung ikaw, you're a parent yourself, kung ikaw, anong sasabihin mong pwedeng age? Siyempre, kukonsultahin ka dyan
Well, I have a 15-year-old son, no? And we allow him to use his cell phone, but limited ang time niya. We allow him to use it. And at a certain time, he has to stop using his phone already. And then, of course, he only uses it pagkatapos na siya sa schoolwork niya. So, it's kind of a carrot and stick din, di ba? Sige, you want to use your phone? Tapusin mo na yung pag-aaral mo, di ba? At saka, we try 1 or 2 hours before sleeping, you put down your gadget already. Kasi proven na yan Hindi makakatulog ang bata. And kids are sleeping less because of the use of gadgets, especially close to bedtime. So talagang it's not good for their physical development and their mental development. Full and free, unfettered use and access of cell phone and all the social media sites.
Pero nasa magulang na yan, Hindi na siya, wala na yan sa school.
That's the thing, ma'am, because really the first layer is really our parents and our families. But as you know, because we are very unconventional ang society ng Philippines in the sense that we have so many OFW families and our geography is also inter-island. So, minsan yung bata nasa uncle, nasa lola, nasa pinsan. So, we must always maintain some kind of authority figure kasi yun yung very important daw, sabi ng mga psychologists at this age, that somehow nabavalidate yung ating kabataan, yung ating teenagers at adolescents. And part of that is they get from their parents. The guidance, the validation, and of course, parts sa school. So, sa school, we'll try to do as much as we can. Pero yung sa bahay, medyo siguro kailangan palakasin din yung interaction with the parents through maybe the parent-teacher associations, yung kausap ko si Sec Rex, sabi niya na they're trying to inculcate it sa mga 4Ps programs nila. Sige, dapat maging mabuting magulang kayo kasi tumatanggap kayo ng ayuda, pero bahagi ng responsibilidad ninyo, maging mabuting magulang din. So I think this is something not exclusive to DepEd. Siguro pati local governments, Ma'am Ami, kailangan involved din po dito. Kasi this is parang a family, community, society issue na talagang how is it to be a good parent in the year 2026 and beyond?